The top 10 worst SMG4 videos. Number 10, If Mario Was in Sonic Movie 2. Not only is the title of both this episode and the first one massive clickbait, but the episode itself features some of the most painfully unfunny content that I've seen from SMG4 in quite a while. It's somehow even more nonsensical than the original Sonic the Hedgehog series. Number 9, Mario's Magical TV. This episode is a blatant rip-off of 2015's Senmodner Zero, featuring some of the most stale humor to date. The worst offenders being the dragged-out anime arc simplified segment and the abysmal SpongeBob anime segment. It's also worth mentioning that this episode holds the record for featuring the least amount of Super Mario 64 in the series history, making it one of the lowest points in general. Number 8, Yoshrooms. I find most episodes starring Yoshi to be pretty bad, but this one is easily the worst due to its focus on telling the most unfunny jokes possible while providing next to no substance outside of that. Number 7, Love for Luigi. Here we have yet another rehash of a previous episode, but with some dragged out musical dance numbers because those are apparently the funniest thing in the world. Number 6, Swag Quest. I'd like to nominate swag-obsessed Bowser as being the single most unfunny character in the entire series. How they managed to butcher a character this bad is still a mystery to me. Number 5, Mario for Hire. Most 2014-era episodes all feature the same exact problems as one another, usually being focused around making the comedy as random as possible at the expense of the premise and character writing. The only thing that makes this one worse than the other bad 2014 episodes is that it's slightly more obnoxious than the others, but they are all bad. Number 4, Mario Joins the Circus. Believe it or not, I actually don't really care about the concept of character torture in the SMG4 series, so my reasons for disliking this episode have nothing to do with the common reasons that most others do, but rather, I dislike this episode because of its poorly paced humor and budget editing. I will also make a special note of Bob's appearance as his voice is on half speed of what it normally should be, which makes this more grating to sit through. Number 3, Cooking with Mario and Bowser 2. It's the same typical random equals funny garbage that most 2014 episodes amount to, just with more dragged out audio clips and Shrek appearing out of a soup for no reason. Number 2, Problematic Pipe Problems. From a personal standpoint, this is the SMG4 episode that I despise the most, but I'm not going to rank it higher since the number 1 spot is an objectively worse video. But having that said, this episode is the most insufferably bad out of all of them, featuring some of the most stale and unfunny humor to date, and a premise stolen from not just one, not just two, but 3 previous episodes, 2 of those even coming from the same year. It was clearly the result of Luke attempting to scrape the bottom of an already sewage-filled barrel in hopes of getting another episode out before the Christmas special. I would give him props for trying, but it's clear that he just took the easy route by rehashing the plot from 2013's A Fungus Among Us again. I could live with never watching this episode ever again. Number 1, Toad Has a Secret. This episode has largely been forgotten about these days, but it still remains as one of the most cheap-looking episodes the series has ever had. The editing looks like something straight out of the 2011 era, and the humor is some of the worst paced I've ever seen. None of the jokes land in the way they were intended to, and the only humor anyone could get out of this is a result of the laughably bad editing. I guess in comparison to the previous entries, this one at least has the ironic enjoyability factor, but make no mistake, this is the objective worst SMG4 episode. I've seen channels with under 100 subscribers that edit better than this. And that was my list of the top 10 worst SMG4 videos. Stay tuned for my list of the top 10 best SMG4 videos.